Thank you for joining us at Summer Games Done Quick 2014, hosted by Speed Demos Archive and Speedruns Live. Speed Demos Archive is the premier community for video game speedruns, competing games as quickly as possible through extensive planning, practice, and knowledge of game mechanics and glitches. Speedruns Live is the best site to race video games online against others. Players of all skill levels are welcome to join, whether you'd like to become competitive or just race casually with friends. You can go to their front page, speedrunslive.com, for more information and to watch a wide variety of speedrun streams. All the money we're raising at this event is going towards Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders is an international medical humanitarian organization created by doctors and journalists in France in 1971. Today, Doctors Without Borders provides independent, impartial assistance in more than 60 countries to people whose survival is threatened by violence, neglect, or catastrophe, primarily due to armed conflict, epidemics, malnutrition, exclusion from healthcare, or natural disasters. In 1999, Doctors Without Borders received the Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts. We just watched PJ run Super Ghouls and Ghosts with some sick scythe crossbow strats. Coming up next is Lost Vikings by johannhowitzer, and that's an hour and a half estimate. We're going to run a quick commercial. Please take a moment to whitelist our stream on your AdBlock software. All money raised through ads goes straight to supporting the marathon. All money raised through subscriptions goes directly to Doctors Without Borders, so if you could select one of those options or donate to the marathon, we'd be most appreciative. So thank you, and we'll see you in a moment. Pacific time. So welcome back. We'll be playing Lost Vikings with johannhowitzer. So let's just get through a few donations. We have $50 from John H. Hi guys, lovely to see you guys supporting MSF. They've always had a place in my heart. Stream is fun as always, looking forward to WC3. Shout out to Ryan Daniel and Jesse Rain, who I know are watching right now. Also shout outs to everyone in Manchester I've met over the past 4 years. Cheers guys. We have $35 from Mike Novick. Great marathon, put this towards the La Mulana remake. We have $50 from TG. No comment, but thank you TG. We have $45.02 from Steven Jazuski. Put this towards Leon Kowalski running Link's Awakening DS. Hope we can see another great run from the 502 crew.
Yeah, it's already met. So
we have $5.02 from Joel McHale, 502 crew for life. We have $50 from Boom Boom 777. Hey guys, second time donating. And it looks like I made it in time to see PJ's Super Ghouls and Ghosts run. Too bad there's no bid challenge for kill all Red Ramers for this run, but I think the enemies will need to fear PJ more than Arthur. Put this $50 towards using Grant in Castlevania 3. Keep up the good work and have fun.
Testing. Does that sound good? All right.
yeah, it's
And I guess I'll speak next. I'm apparently louder.
Shouldn't there be a controller cam?
There was an incentive, was it met? There was a donation incentive for hand cam.
Yeah, it was met.
Yeah, and we definitely should get that done.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive watch.
So we'll get that hand cam set up. And as we're doing that, we'll read a few more donations. $5.02 from Wixelsier. Shoutouts to Wintergreen and love to Johan from the 502 crew.
What would you like to order yours today?
Fusion 1%.
We have $25 from Adrian Ortiz. Thanks to the speedrunning community for supporting MSF, and shoutouts to Mikey and Sean for doing their part in raising awareness for this charity marathon. We have $50 from N2, was lucky enough to catch the end of PJ's run, so here's my annual donation.
Is that good? Okay.
We have $35 from Scythe14, good luck on the run, and $20 from Chaos Sinful Rose. Hey guys, Chaos Sinful Rose, back for another GDQ. Bar none. Shoutouts to the East Coast 4 crew.
Okay. Time is not on game start, by the way, because there's a different load time from this to the starting cutscene based on what last demo scene played. So time will be 3, 2, 1, go.
So this is Lost Vikings. It's a pretty interesting game and has a quirky plot where Vikings get abducted by aliens and travel through time to try to get back out and back to their native Norse land.
I'm going to be moving the slower Vikings together. I have to make 2 trips through most levels because I have only 2 controllers and 3 Vikings. So even though it looks like it's slower to move Eric by himself, it's actually faster because if I group one of the other Vikings with him, it slows both groups down.
Eric, of course, being the red-haired one. You know, if you think back to Norse explorers and such, Eric the Red. Then there's the guy in the middle. His name is Baliog, and he's the one who cannot jump, but he has some other skills. One of the 2
Eric
slow
is the
ones.
only one that can jump, which is going to cause some mobility problems. Baliog is the hardest one to get around because he doesn't have a shield to float with, and he can't jump.
Yeah, and the third one, Olaf, has a shield which he can use to float, so that's going to be used numerous times. His shield also can stop projectiles, as he's doing there to render that turret ineffective. And you can even have, while he's gliding, other players, well, the other ones bounce on the shield while he's gliding.
Yeah, I'm going to make use of as much automatic movement as possible. I can deselect a character and have him continue moving. And I wasn't supposed to take fall damage there. That's a minor time loss. I've never had a deathless run. That's what I'm going to be going for. See how it goes. The record right now is 57 minutes, 27 seconds. And that's not good.
Yeah, and you can see the fall damage animation there with the stars around their heads. This is obviously not a totally serious game. There's interludes where they speak to each other in between stages that he's going to be skipping past, but there's fart humor and stuff like that in there. And you're going to be seeing a lot of that fall damage and hearing that sound effect quite a bit.
This level has an item toward the end called the gravity boots. It's only found in this one level, and it's possible to skip using it. It nullifies anti-gravity fields, and there's one long anti-gravity field toward the end that will push me up into electricity. So normally I have to use it. It's possible to skip it, but it's dangerous and doesn't save any time, because it's so quick to get it.
And those are the anti-gravity things you see there. They are automatic movement when you're in them, so he made sure he was outside of it before he switched.
Gravity boots go. Eric's gonna have the gravity boots for the whole game. He'll pretend he's reacting to anti-gravity for most of the game, but then toward the end he won't drift out of the airlock. First world's done. Nothing too big in the next world. We'll start having some skips now, but it's still a pretty slow pace. You can do donations if you want. Actually, any of these vortexes is a good time.
Sure. We have a $50 donation from the Incredible Wheel of Cheese. Wishing the best of luck to my big bro Johan as he takes on the evil Egyptian RNG. I will donate another $50 if he never has to restart a level, or if he soft locks on the last tomato encounter during his run. Donation goes to runner's choice as long as it's not kill the animals. Also during this block, with a minimum donation of $10, you'll be entered to win the Art of Blizzard art book, so take a look at gamesdonequick.com to see that.
It's an example of a level where I do just the whole level with Eric to get some things done really quickly because he's the fastest, and then the level loops around, so rather than try to keep the Vikings together, I just do one, and then it's a very quick... One thing that's a big part of optimizing this game is reducing the amount of time the camera has to spend moving from one Viking to another.
And that's going to be a theme throughout the run.
Yep, that's the most important part of the routing. All right, here we have the first skip of the game. Toward the end of this level, there's an item that's accessible from the other side of the wall. I'm gonna take that shortcut backwards. You're not supposed to... It's the first death. That stake that Baleog just got, he's the only one that can't get over there normally, so the game designers figured, that's solid enough. Nope. Because the skip, I use some timing here to get Baleog across the gap. This hill can... Alright. These cavemen, there's cavemen in the prehistoric world, and they take a long time to fight if you fight them with just Baleog's sword. So I'm just going to trap this guy against the wall.
And now the Solons are past it. And one thing that's worth mentioning about enemy AI is they treat the boundary of the screen as the furthest extent to which they can go, even if there's ground past there. So if they are programmed to walk back and forth, they will tend to turn around.
That's why I walk past that ladder there, to give this guy a little more room to walk, because he opens up on a cycle. Cavemen have an active hurt box when they are rolled up, so I get him to unroll, which means he's much less threatening when I want to climb up.
And that walking off the ledge and falling to the other side of that little river there is actually a skip as well. Just poor level design in this case.
They made the opposite shore too close, so I can just fall over to the other side. It makes the level one shot straight to the exit. I actually don't fight very many enemies in this game. Here's another enemy I'm going to skip using the ladder. It's possible to get across this gap of lava by using Olaf's shield to carry Baleog. However, it only saves time on one player category. Part of the reason it's not worthwhile in two players because I would have to kill that dinosaur. And this timing for this is going to be off. Make sure the others didn't die. Lava deals 2 damage in this game. Every other damage source is only 1 damage. I think Cavern is up next. Some things in this game are on a global timer and stay active all the time. Common theme in this game is if it's not on the screen, it doesn't exist. I've used that heavily. Very
heavily. There are a few tricks where it's absolutely essential to despawn something to skip a rather lengthy section in a level. It happens numerous times.
Yeah, but the bubbles later in this stage are global. They'll exist no matter where the screen is. These are the 2 cavemen that I have to fight normally. As you can see, they only take damage when they open up. So they're very slow to kill. The idea with the bubbles is that I need to reach them as soon as possible to get an early cycle. And I want to get all 3 Vikings into the bubble at once. So here's a lot of falling and exploiting the automatic movement of falling to continue doing something while the Vikings move through the fall. And I think I might be a little late for this bubble. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in first with these 2 guys. And then try to catch up with her. Alright. So, off-screening things, you'll see here, this fire-spitting enemy doesn't spit fire when he's off the screen, and then he starts as soon as I pan back to him.
So you just panned away there so that you would have time for the...
Bash stun to stop. Yeah. Alright, there's a smart bomb here. I have to bash this stone wall to get the plank to fall, to go forward, and normally you're supposed to hold up this plank with Olaf's shield, but if I go... Okay. If I go too far there, on the return trip, Eric will be crushed, but I made it. A big part of routing this game is also having the proper character selection for the next level, because the characters that I have selected are preserved across the level transition. So here, okay, the bubble pool coming up here is a fixed pattern. And once I get these guys into the second bubble, there's another bubble directly underneath them. So I use this time to get Eric all the way across.
You can see them fall from one bubble to the next there as Eric went past.
Mm-hmm. Once I get past the swamp here, things get a lot easier. These bubbles they're much narrower platforms than they appear. This blue dinosaur is just placed very badly. Even the task takes damage on that guy. The platform's just too narrow. Should be fine now. One more level in the prehistoric world after this. One form of automatic movement you may have noticed is that at the end of a level toward the exit, I get Eric to jump just before switching, so he's actually covering the last bit of ground by himself while he's off screen.
Saves a few frames each time, and it adds up because there are quite a few levels in this game.
Here's another caveman, and it's a very clever way to skip this guy by using the ladder. That is... There's only one more caveman, I'm gonna skip him too. Cavemen are the slowest enemy to kill in the game. The worst enemy are the Egyptian guards. They have a very erratic movement pattern, and as far as we can tell, they are RNG of some nature. I'm not going to fall there with Eric because I have some lava coming up, and he's going to not have the advantage of the shelter of Olaf's shield here. Whereas, really are a little. Okay. Tried to hit me. Alright, we're in Egypt now. Read a donation if you like.
Sure. We have $10 from Vato Gander. Whoa, an HD Johan? Good to see you at the marathon. Lost Vikings is awesome, but when is the 1-player and 3-controller Sega version gonna happen? Come on, you know you want to at least try it.
Okay, so Sega, the Mega Drive version rather, has a 3-controller option. I do not have a Mega Drive, nor do I wish to run that. Because, for one thing, the SNES paddles are very conducive to this kind of run because I have them Velcroed back to back. So I'm not doing the same method that Yagamoth used in Yagamoth and, was it Striker or Stinger?
Stinger BA.
Stinger? Okay, I can never remember which word is his name. But they used a different method where both controllers were facing upward. So I apologize, the camera isn't really able to capture a lot of what I'm doing with the back of the controller. But with Sega controllers, it would be a lot more difficult to figure out how to do this because the controllers are not as flat. I'm gonna kill this guy because between him and the guard, if they're like anywhere near each other, they can combo me to death really easily. So that's marathon safety. This level has a whole bunch of Egyptian guards, and I'm gonna kill the last one because in practice this week he has been comboing me hard. And it doesn't take very long to kill him. The idea with the guards, as you may have noticed, is I'm trying to get them to jump over me. They jump on a timer. Oh, that was okay. I expected that to be worse than it was. Okay. Good. Kill this guy, and so here's a camera panning optimization. I could bring these guys all the way down, but I stop as soon as they get up to Eric because Eric's the next character I have to use. So there's 0 camera panning on that switch. Just an example. What? Okay. Die. That guy. He's comboed Eric to death while I approach him. So I'm not messing around with that guy. This level, you're supposed to drop this block and then push the switch in the lower left there to put brackets underneath it. But if Eric is standing on it partially,
it just won't.
It doesn't notice that the others are walking across it. So that skips the lower portion of the level. This is a pretty simple level. I just have to be careful not to take too much damage with Eric. These blocks are a fixed pattern, so as long as I'm watching what I'm doing, it should be fine. Okay. I think the next level is spiked. I'm gonna do the whole level with Eric, most of the level with Eric before doing anything else with the other guys.
That jump was actually pretty precise right there. He has a method that he uses to make sure he doesn't jump too high or too low. Too low, he hits the spikes and dies. Too high, he bounces off the little head thing there you see and hits the spikes and dies.
Yeah, and to do that, it's pretty easy. You just jump over the platform in the air, and there's another 0 camera panning switch. Run past these guys. Eric can run past guaranteed as long as he's going full speed. This guard in the middle was really nice to me, by the way. If I'm jumping onto the ladder, he can just combo me. Because every time I fall from the ladder, I have to jump back up to it, and then he's ready for another jump. I've had that happen. He just hits me 3 times in a row. Alright, this level. We mentioned carrying Beliard. This bottom portion is only supposed to be played by Olaf, because he can float between the ladders, but with some precise jumps.
And it's also worth mentioning that you have to be pressing directly up and only directly up for the ladders to actually catch.
Yeah, left and right will make you drop a ladder. And I'm doing that with 2 D-pads here.
Yeah, and there's another effect that I'll mention in a second.
Task carries 2 Vikings on top of Olaf's shield, by the way. Not something I have any
There you
desire
go.
to try.
That's most of the level skipped. That one deserves some applause, I think. But the reason that Eric was able to make that final jump was because the B button actually affects his gravity.
Yeah, I'm holding it all the way through the jump. That's something Yagamoth found.
And
Without that, we would not be able to do the level that way.
And it's also something he's going to be using towards the end of the game a little bit. I'll mention it more then.
I can't send anyone up this elevator, which by the way is a global cyclone. I just have to wait for it. Because there are spikes at the top. Anyone standing on this elevator will be crushed if they get to the top. Oh, we jumped. Okay. Hopefully Eric can still make the elevator cycle. The guard was not nice. Go fast. Okay. I thought I wasted more time than I did. Mummies are a one-hit kill. They're the only enemy that can kill you in a single hit. So I'm not taking any chances into the first mummy here. I'm going to kill him because though I can jump over him in this 3-block high corridor, it's extremely dangerous and almost impossible to jump over him without dying. Up here, there's a 4-block ceiling, so that's pretty safe. And then toward the end of the level here, the level gets its name from the word Tetris because at the end of the level, there's a very notorious section for people playing this game in a non-speedrun setting. There's a fixed pattern of blocks that fall down. You have to traverse them with Eric without getting crushed.
But
and then
here,
you push a block down at the end, but I can just push against that wall, which sets up a magic pixel to cross the gap.
and that works because their animations make their hitbox oscillate. So that manipulated the two slower guys who can't jump to be on the right pixel of the animation when they went over that 2-block gap to be able to cross it, when the vast majority of the time they would not have been able to do so.
Okay, now I'm in the factory, and there's a major difficulty spike from here to the end of the game. I have to pay attention to a lot. There's a lot to say, and a lot more tricks. These big pounders will crush even through Olaf's shield. Need both those items coming up. Okay, I'm gonna stop just short here with Baleog. If I get the source of the pounder off the screen, it won't come out of the ceiling.
The same thing as was mentioned earlier. If it's not on the screen, it doesn't exist.
It's actually something that I found out at a different spot accidentally during practice.
Right now, right there, that was a little manipulation, intentionally getting hit by that enemy so that the enemy would stop in that place and get hit by the bomb and die and be out of the way on the way back.
Bombs will instant kill any enemy and any Viking. So I'm actually going to dump bombs I don't need out of my inventory at a convenient spot. But sometimes I'll collect ones I don't plan to use, and that will prevent me from making an error. All these this game is riddled with one-hit kills. All these pounders, for example, are instant death to a Viking. You have to have all Vikings alive at the end of the stage to complete the stage, otherwise it automatically restarts the stage for you. So that's part of why I've never had a deathless run to this point, even though the record is pretty optimized at this point. Deathless is the biggest thing. There's also a few task tricks that I plan to implement when I get home, but I haven't had, I've had bigger fish to fry for weeks coming up to the marathon.
And this is their way around the guys not being able to jump. And you can see there that mine dropper guy.
Yeah.
Those enemies can cause issues.
Those are one of the worst enemies in the game, and we'll see them in the hardest level in the game. They're usually in very bad places. Oh, I'm supposed to jump there. Nah, I failed the jump. Alright. More despawning in this next level.
This level is called Battery because the theme of the level is that you have to assemble a battery in it. So he's going to be going around collecting a few things and taking them to a specific point in the level.
Now the exit's right next to the start. It's too bad I can't cut through that door completely with all three characters. Because it would break this level. Okay, Eric has one of the items I need. The other dog just got some tools to make another item. And you may notice the skewers that are coming out of the ceiling don't come out of the ceiling, same as the pounders. This is where I found that. I was trying to figure out a way to do the part with Eric there blind, because they're on a fixed pattern. And then I found out by accident, they're not even coming out of the ceiling. I don't even have to pay attention to them. Get the tools to pull out. Gotta remember that. You go over there. Alright, this mine layer can get in the way, so I'm going to kill him even though it takes a little bit of time, a few seconds, because he can interfere with Olaf pretty badly here. Did not expect that to connect. That was very close to falling into the spikes. I don't know why they put spikes in some of these locations though, because if you fall into that, you don't even need to die, you're just trapped. Alright, there's the battery, and there we go. The next level is heavily sequence broken. I'm just gonna go straight to the end, because if I fall down here onto the elevator, and then set up Eliog on the right pixel, which I'm not sure I got because of the CRT, I think this is right.
You will see his bow on the right side.
That's
yeah,
not
that's
right.
just
That's not right.
off. You need
one more pixel.
You need one more pixel, yeah.
Okay.
And there it is. He just shot that switch through the wall, and he's at the
You're
exit.
supposed to do a lot of other things to get to that switch. Alright, this level is all based on elevator cycles. I have to make the first part of the level very quickly. Elevator cycles. Conveyors are automatic movements, so I use those as well. Alright. Made the first elevator. That generator there, I'm not going to blow that up, even though you're supposed to, because electricity is one of those things that doesn't exist off screen.
So hey, electricity. It was gone while he wasn't looking at it.
So that was neat. And I had to do it again. And this last short elevator is never in a good position when I get here. I have no idea how to manipulate it. It's pretty clearly on a global cycle, so everything else I do in the level affects where it's going to be when I get to it. And the elevator was in a good position for once, but I have to wait another cycle to shoot these two switches. I think, okay, next is hop. One of the most difficult things to do in this game is to synchronize two Vikings on springs. Especially when one of them is Eric because of his different acceleration.
So whenever possible, if he has to synchronize two on springs, he's going to do the two slow ones because they act the same.
Together. Yeah, trying to keep these guys together preserves my sanity greatly. He took 2 damage. I'm okay though.
Yeah, there you
He doesn't have any more damage sources to face for the rest of the level.
That just goes to show how
These
annoying
counters
those
are not on the right
enemies
pattern.
can be.
Something went wrong there. I have no idea what. Yeah. There's a lot of ghosting on this CRT. That's going to make some of the more precise tricks a little bit. Okay. This guy is the worst. Okay. He's in a very, very bad position, and he trolls me often. But he felt like being nice today. I stood Olaf on the right block so that he falls through without having to be moved. And the next level is one of the 3 hardest in the game. It has springs with Olaf and Eric, which is extremely hard. It also has a glitch that is pretty moody. And it has a lot of instant death and skewers and stuff like that. So this level is just all around my worst nightmare.
And he only needs one of those bombs there.
Yeah. There's another, if you bomb the left wall here, there's a flaming arrow, which you're supposed to use to kill the robot down below, but I don't need to do that.
Because, fortunately, also, you can walk inside the robot's hitbox and it won't shoot you.
Ooh, that was close. Okay, I'm running scared right now, so I'm gonna take this carefully. Alright. Looks like I got it.
What he did there was despawn the wall that was blocking him from getting to the switch by panning away at a very specific time while he had a precise jump loaded. There are going to be another couple tricks along those lines later on.
I'm very glad pause buffering is a thing in this game. Oh, come on. That's a big time loss. I've never been that dumb before. I was trying for too much, should have paused. I knew it as I did it, too.
That's usually the
Alright,
case.
so we get to see the trick again. This world also has the best music in the game. Really good music in this game. The sequel's a better game. There is a Lost Vikings 2. The sequel's a better game, but it does not have as good music in my opinion. It's still good music, just not quite this good. Okay, this should work. I hope. Nope. I missed the window by a little bit. I'm not surprised. This is one of the 3 levels that could wall me, and it's doing so. I've lost about 3 minutes here, probably. No. The magic pixel, you've seen Olaf skip across that little gap there when I wanted him to fall. Sometimes the magic pixel set up to get a 2-block gap across doesn't work in my favor, so I have to try to mitigate that by finding a position where that won't happen. One more. Okay. Alright. Just don't do the dumb thing this time. Alright. Waiting an extra cycle here because I don't want to lose the level again. Alright. One more level in the factory. This one isn't too bad. But I'm gonna leave Olaf aside for the whole level. He wouldn't really help much in this level anyway, because the buzzsaw enemies will just chop right through his shield.
And what he's doing here is he's picked up a fire, basically, and he just lit that furnace. If he tried to walk past it now, it would damage him.
Olaf is stuck. Can't get him back until the end of the level.
So instead what he has to do is drop this kinda, sorta in there.
Furnace.
It doesn't actually have to be fully in there, as you can see.
Yeah. The hit detection for the hopper is really generous. That guy on screen. Alright. I have to get this is one of the few levels where I have to get the flaming arrow. Not that I mind. I'm gonna have to wait for this guy to walk all the way back to the right here. I'm manipulating him to be in position so that I can destroy him with a smart bomb, so I don't ever have to fight him. Okay, I'm fine. The screen is red because I have Olaf selected and he's right next to the furnace. Yeah, you. Alright. I'm gonna slow down a little bit with Eric here because I want to move this elevator immediately once he gets to it, and I have had Beliog take fall damage there and he has only 1 health left. And this is the reason why I need the flaming arrow in this level, because it destroys the furnace, allowing me to safely pass by. Now we're in Wacky World, the candy level, which is, this is another one of the 3 hardest levels in the game. Now we have item duplication, and
Basically how it works
this
is,
is the hardest world in the game.
you know how things don't exist when they're off screen? Well, they kind of sort of do. You can collect items, but they won't get removed because they're kind of not there. The game doesn't quite know how to handle that fully. So you can duplicate any item by collecting it with predetermined movement while you're off screen, while it's off screen.
This one is a 4-pixel window, and we still don't understand how it goes, so I might miss it even if it looks like I'm gonna make it.
No, it's not duplicating this one, it's the next key, the blue key that he needs to do.
You can use, like, the game only has 3 colors of keys. That's the window right there. Nice. Alright.
And right there you can see 2 blue keys in his inventory.
Which means I don't have to do the last part of the level. Here I'm setting up Eric and Olaf for the most difficult jump in the game. I have to cross the spike pit with Eric in 1 jump while flying over with Olaf. It's a half block window to make the jump.
And as he said, he's doing 2 things at once.
Okay, I got it.
That's another, more applause.
That's the most difficult trick in the game, so I'm glad I didn't get eaten there, but the level's not over yet. I still have to make it off this elevator. I'm gonna try to get all 3 Vikings off this elevator to the exit of the level at once, which requires some rapid inputs. Okay.
And one thing you may...
That's a huge relief to be past that level.
Yeah. And one thing you also may have noticed if you're paying attention to the spikes is that when you are going the opposite direction they're facing, you can get a lot closer to them. That is not a hitbox quirk that works in both ways.
Not supposed to take Eric up here, but I'm gonna do so to make this a little faster. Just drop everyone down. Otherwise I'd have to do another elevator cycle, and this is a long elevator. Alright, done with the double glide here. Beliog is not supposed to be in this area, so it skips his entire section. This level revolves around a global cycle of these bubbles. Let's see if I made it in time. Looks like I might have. Okay. And I'm waiting there with Eric since the bubble cycle is no longer favorable. He has to wait. So I just do something else until he doesn't have to wait. The next level has some really cool tricks in it. And I am gonna do the environment kill, because I'm probably not on record pace anymore. There's 3 of these combinations, and that's just memorization, but I'm gonna skip the 3rd one. I've accidentally duplicated one of those bombs before. I'm not surprised item duplication was found. It's something that conceivably could be found accidentally. And I guess I'm not doing the environment kill.
Yeah.
If you bring that alien on screen and let him be like right up against Olaf's shield on the block before it disappears, you can drop the block and drop him into the spikes. It's the only way I know of to kill an enemy using the environment in this game. And I'm supposed to bring an elevator down so that Olaf can get to the top of the level, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to do things more interesting way. Alright, and I got... That's actually pretty tight at the end of the level to get all 3 Vikings in that bubble before... I'm really happy that level went really, really well. The next one This one is donation reading time because I have to split up the party. There's nothing cool to do in this level.
Okay,
Go ahead.
perfect. We have $20 from Fuzz Moses, giving this to Johan to allocate as he pleases. Here's hoping for a Nemesis bonus stream. $20 from Dargate. Never actually seen this Blizzard game before, just heard about it. So glad that I get to see it here, all broken and fun. Keep up the awesome work, guys. Money to Runner's Choice. We have $50 from Lemuraeus. No comment, but thank you. Another $50 from Scott McLean with no comment, but thank you for that as well. We have $100 from Puzzles. Had to donate when I saw the Link's Awakening DX incentive. Getting in for a chance on that Art of Blizzard is a nice bonus, too. $50 from Unknown Anime. This is my first SGDQ to watch live. Love what you guys are doing and love the cause. Hope you keep it up and get to the 1 million mark. $20 from Celsius Tier. I started donating during AGDQ 2014, but I've been watching since 2011. It's not very often that the animals get saved, so let's save those critters this time.
That was some very sporadic clapping.
We have $60 from Slayer 3K. Hey there, shoutouts to Johan for his amazing run, and also shoutouts to the whole community. Gaming for a good cause is one of the most awesome things I know. Keep up the good work and keep the runs jibby. Gibby.
And yes, Johan did just say, got the tomato skip.
The end boss is called Tomato, so that's kind of a joke. The tomato skip is, I just didn't collect that tomato, which saves the menu. Okay, this level's completely broken.
And in a very hilarious way.
This level's gone through, dang it, I got him off screen. Okay.
So he sent them through the teleporter there, and Eric
Not
is...
what I'm supposed to do. Oh, hi.
Eric is not supposed to be able to get through those little gaps, but they didn't think you'd set him down there, so they just didn't program it fully. And what he did there was he phased through that floor by using a key at the right time on the wrong colored.
Yeah, if you use it, you can use this to avoid fall damage too. When you use a key on a keyhole, whether it's the right color or not, and obviously the wrong color because I wanted to keep the key. Please do that thing. It removes your collision for a moment. So that's how I got through that floor. The task chain trades the key to all three characters to get everyone through that floor, then does a triple glide around two corners.
Yeah, have fun doing that in real time.
Never happening. Barely made that bubble. Actually, I couldn't just hold left to get to that bubble early. I had to stop moving to gain extra distance. That's bad, I didn't press B. Okay. I did rescue that. You're not supposed to get that red key with Eric, you're supposed to fall down from above with Olaf. This level is all about inflating all three characters at once, which this used to be the hardest level in the game, but then, other levels got harder and this one got easier. Eric is floating up toward a fan, but because the fan was off screen when he entered the wind, it didn't exist, which removes the need to turn it off. Triple inflation. The one player gets Beliog and Olaf to the right here, and then pushes both Vikings forward, plus the block with Eric, so he's a lot stronger than he looks. Now, in this slightly safer way, I could inflate all three up toward this electricity, but I'm not dumb. I know this is a marathon. Well, we proved earlier I am dumb, but... Okay.
Only sporadically.
Yeah. So you're supposed to take this spring over these elevators, which is really dumb and hard, but that's one of the reasons why the level got easier, because I had a huge blind spot in my routing and didn't realize I could just go over everything with the inflation. So these elevators suck, and I don't want to use them at all.
And you can see there, that was a rather obvious instance of the programming and the spikes being beneficial,
Yeah.
and that when you're traveling the opposite direction, it's harder to hit them.
And this is the Jaws of Death. if I do this with 2 characters, I have to pay very close attention to when I deflate them so that I can miss the ceiling. Because if they get out of sync, then I'm very likely to mess something up and die. This is another level that's horribly broken. I'm supposed to go way over to the left and then way over to the right, but instead I'm just going to go straight up the middle, and I went a little early there, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
Basically keeping them going while
I skipped
off.
the first fan, then I used the second fan to skip that electricity.
So they would have had the momentum from the fan that second time, but not the first time. And that second time obviously just sent them to the other side of the electricity, like you said. He's going to do it again with, I believe, right?
Huh?
You're going to do that again with him here,
Yep.
right? Yeah, I thought so.
Same thing with Eric here. And this is a very difficult spot. I have to... Okay, and then I only take 1 Viking here because every time I take 2 Vikings, you have to turn around immediately after falling off the ledge or you impale on those spikes. And there's no way. Even the Mike, who's practiced in 1 player in this game, agrees that no. Okay, this level, heavily broken, the coolest trick in the game.
What
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, what he's doing here is just kind of jumping against a wall, you know, pausing, whatever.
But I jumped such that I'm in the wall, and that skipped 2/3 of the level.
Yeah.
Thanks for the applause, but that's not really as hard as it looks.
Yeah. He did, however, need pixel perfect precision
Yeah,
on that first
it was like-
jump.
I needed to be paused with at the very apex of my jump, which is on a specific pixel. Okay, here I have to do a magic pixel setup across this gap. I think that's right. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Because I didn't drop a block down and then push it onto the pressure plate, I have to do that instead. Okay, this is the only auto-scroller in the game, but it's really easy to do something stupid and die, because I have to juggle the characters, and I'm on a timer because of this. This elevator is descending toward electricity in a whole bunch of places. So I could jump back onto the platform here with Eric, but the only time I tried that, I fell onto the electricity, and then learned my lesson immediately. Okay, there's 4 levels left. The next level I'm not going to do at all as intended. If you're at all familiar with this level in casual play, I'm not doing half of it, and there's like 4 or 5 sequence breaks in this level. It's really fun. It's not all that hard. But there are 3 pause buffers to get pixel-specific input. Or not, well, one of them is not pixel-specific. I'll explain each one as I go by. So I'm supposed to bring Olaf down first here, which I do. Teleport him into a gap, get Eric in position. Eric's supposed to just keep going right over those springs. Instead, I'm going to take him down into Olaf's area, which is a really easy setup. Pause buffering is a godsend in this game. Alright, and then I'm going to do a bunch of rapid 1-pixel movements using pause buffering to duplicate. That's guaranteed, that deduplication. That's free. And then bring Olaf down here, time the switch so that I have 0 camera pan, and then this jump, because I didn't take Eric the way I'm supposed to, that electrical field's still up, but I can just pass right through. And I have to jump on a specific block there, like jump from a specific block, but then the pause buffer is like a 3-block window. It's extremely generous. It actually took me a while to figure out what I was doing wrong when I missed that trick. Once I found out it was the jump, the trick became a lot easier. And we're out. Okay. One thing about teleporting, if the character that is teleporting is not selected, they'll materialize instantly, but if they are selected, the camera will have to pan before they materialize. So I intentionally deselect a character while they're teleporting to make them materialize faster. And this guy could be a bit of a troll.
those enemies fortunately do face the way that they're going, so you can manipulate them the same way as...
What? I had the wrong character selection. I was supposed to drop Olaf there. Okay, something went wrong with my character selection, probably on the previous level. So I'm gonna take a moment here and fix that. See, there's the camera pan. Okay, this is the easiest level in the last world. I don't know why I'm messing it up so bad. Okay. Oh, I know why. I'll fix it in a moment. Okay. I didn't do the back controller switch that I was supposed to do there, and that threw me off. Alright, I can visually confirm now Olaf is on the right controller. That's what was supposed to happen there. That was just a memory error. Half of this, okay, not half. Like 90% of this game is mental. There's almost no movement tech. It's just all remembering what needs to happen in what order. Corner jump.
There he's pressing B to have him rise back up in the anti-gravity faster.
Yeah, that's related to the fact that B causes Eric's gravity to decrease. That they programmed that in to make it possible to manipulate how he ascends in anti-gravity. So I'll be doing that a lot here. Just speed up this section. Okay. I'm gonna wait for this guy. Okay. Not waiting for that guy, apparently. I do have some health here I can pick up, though. And now the rest of this level is safe. The next level is the hardest in the game, calling serious time for the whole thing. There's enemies from every world in the game here, and unlike most of the enemies in the game, these are awful. Most of the time in the game, the enemies aren't really in the way. They're the scorpions, the mine layers. Those are the worst ones. What? I already shut it off. Am I supposed to say that's never happened before? Because that hasn't. I've actually never seen that happen. That was actually supposed to... Electrical fields, as soon as they start to disappear, they're not dangerous anymore. And that must have been like a one-frame thing. But at least it was a very inexpensive death. This level has the potential to cause very expensive deaths because it's like 4 minutes long. There's 2 false exits. It's like 3 levels in one. And the middle section is the hardest. It's got the mine layers, and I have to manipulate them to get them out of my way as much as possible. Okay. So... they're gonna crash against the ceiling, it's fine. And then this part right here is the hard part. Manipulate him to bounce back, and then this guy. Okay, I should be fine now. Because I want these guys to be able to walk through. Okay, this is bad. I want to wait. I'm going to wait for them to all get over to the left. It's going to waste a little time, but if they're in my way here, they can knock me into the electricity. And now, okay, they're gonna fall, and then they'll synchronize because the spring won't activate, so they stay at like the bottom of the spring until I pan back to them. Hardest key duplication. That looks like it might work. Yep. Okay. That is not so much to save time as it is to save my, the worst part of the game. There's ladders coming up in the 3rd section of this level over electricity, and Eric has to jump across them. And it's awful. It's toward the end of the level. It has a high chance for death. So mostly that key duplication is to save my poor nerves. Alright, these guys I'm going to be very careful because they can combo me. I'm going to bring this one to the right and kill these 2 together. And I'm keeping Baleog back on purpose, because if they hit him while they're turning around on Olaf's shield, they will poke Beliog out in front of Olaf's shield and then combo him to death. Because his hit, like the recoil from the hit, happens backward. Okay. Almost done with this level. Okay. Eric is at full health, which is really safe here. If he was at 2 health, I would be a bit nervous. There's a damage boost coming up. This guy, I have to wait for him to go all the way to the left wall, or I can just bash him when he turns around to face me. Pass this guy. Okay. Gotta use this key, because we know that can happen now. And I'm out of the level. One more level to go. This is the final boss. I have to face the Mater with all 3 Vikings individually, and then all 3 of them together. So Olaf's turn first. Olaf doesn't have an attack, so his method of choice is bombs. I need every bomb here to complete the level, so I can't misuse any of them. The Mater's pattern is fixed here, by the way, so I'm waiting for a specific pattern to pass by. When you destroy a platform underneath him, he changes pattern for he throws 2 bombs, then he goes back to his usual pattern. Now I'm gonna drop both these guys down the shaft. This button is really finicky, and I have had trouble with it in practice, so I'm just gonna shoot. If it's a 1-second loss, I dare not try to push that while floating over it. I'd never missed that until I came to the marathon. And then it started happening, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna mess around with that anymore. Because it saves so little time. And this blue key, whatever designer put this blue keyhole where it is, please don't ever make any games again. I get 1 shot at this. Okay. Now I have a little bit of time to play with. A little bit of time to play with because Tomater's on a cycle, and I have a decently generous span of time to get to the cycle, and I should have made it with flying colors here. Okay. I have to bash him 4 times in succession. It's a really long wait for him to walk back and forth otherwise. But this is a narrow window. If I miss this, I get comboed inside of Tomater's body till I die. And there's only 1 phase of the boss left. There's only 1 phase of the boss left. He's standing on a platform that can be destroyed with bombs. I'm going to try to bash him as soon as he lands. If I'm early and I bash him before he lands, his collision disappears, he falls through the level, and I have to start over. So, if I get these 2 hits, then the game is over. Looks like we're good. Alright, get ready on time. It's when his face changes so he's waving goodbye. And time. "15 seconds from PV, I'll take it." All right, now we get to watch the ending, and I really want to. I think we have enough time because that's 30 minutes under estimate to watch the ending because it's pretty good. If you play this game casually, read all the text boxes because there's a lot of humor. The second game's way better on the dialogue, by the way. There's a lot of movie references in the dialogue. It's really funny. So red is Eric, green is Beliog, and brown is Olaf. So Olaf is supposing that he knows how to fly this alien spaceship. And the text is fixed here, by the way. I can't advance this by pressing B. One element of text in the game, Y can be pause buffered. So if Beliog is one of the starting characters in a level, he just started the self-destruct. If you press Y to skip text and you're on Baleog, he'll do an arrow at the start of the level, so just always use B. The task for this in 2-player category is about 41 minutes. For reference, my sum of best is about 11 minutes away from that. And there's a trick that's formerly task only that I'm working on and kind of finally managed to wrap my mind around in the 2 weeks before coming here. So I'm going to go home and probably try to work on that a bit, and also some other projects that I've been wanting to do. But that, I theorize that it can save 3 to 5 minutes. It's one of the biggest barriers between human and fast runs in this game. Now they're all back home to their families. TJP7154, you would be familiar with him from last SGDQ. He ran the Lost Levels in that, and also commentated for Super Mario Brothers when Andrew G ran it. And he is working on 1-player special mode of Lost Vikings 2. And what special mode is that if you kill yourself on the first level, you're not supposed to be able to die on the first level, but if you manage to kill yourself with fall damage with Eric's jump off of Olaf's shield, the game will give you extra abilities right after it insults you for your gameplay. And those abilities can be used pretty heavily to sequence break. To give you an idea, Olaf gets a teleport and Baleog gets a jump. And Eric gets a fireball. So that is a project that I want to work on eventually with him. He's doing 1-player, I'm going to be working on 2-player. So definitely give him a follow. A lot of this, they have rock instruments now from the future. So we get to Viking rock concert, and Olaf is the best drummer in the world. Mike the Viewer is to credit for a lot of the tricks seen in this run. In the 3 months leading up to the marathon, he broke the game heavily. We were working together on it for a while, and it seemed like not a week would go by, he'd hand me a new trick or a skip or something. And then I would take it and make a setup for it. And that's the Lost Vikings. 2-player.
We had a lot of donations come in during Lost Vikings. We had $20 from Have Some Bacon, keep up the great work, runners. We had $10 from K-Pop. Shout out to all fans of old Blizzard games. Old doesn't mean outdated. Good luck on that Lost Vikings stream. We have $5 from Brooksy Barracks. Hello, respect for Johan. I saw him using 2 controllers and I was amazed. I didn't realize he was using them back to back. That is just phenomenal. Keep it up. We had $20 from Eat the Pen. Can't afford to donate much, but very glad to hear it can still make a difference. Happy to see some Azeroth on the schedule too. Hopefully someday Blizzard will put something in World of Warcraft that it makes sense to speedrun. We have $50 from Icky. Shout out to Pork, enjoying a day off with summer games done quick. $50 from Alex Sikora. The Lost Vikings run is crazy impressive to watch. Good luck, Johan. We had $35 from John Hogarth. This run is really impressive. I had to donate after seeing that controller cam. Really awesome skills on show. Good luck in the rest of the run. We had $15 from Siggy Pie. Yes, yes, yes. I've been waiting a long time for this game to be at a marathon. Go, go, Johan. We have $50 from Big Daddy T with no comment, but thank you, Big Daddy T. We have $40 from Tobias Fleeter. 1 a.m. in the morning and still watching your stream. Greetings from Germany. $13.37 from Sven. Amazing games by Blizzard, and 1 player, 2 controllers still blows my mind. $250 from Any Profit. It gives me some small amount of pleasure that many of the politicians who beat the drums of war are also vocal opponents of video games. Thanks for putting on such an amazing event for such a worthy cause. $10 from Rakumi. Lost Vikings was one of my favorite games as a kid. Very impressive skills, Johan. I really liked your Pugsley run at SGDQ last year and can't wait to see what you will do in the future. Put my donation to what Johan wants. $15 from SN64. This Lost Vikings run is way too good. Johan is some kind of wizard or something. $35 from Benzine. Hello everyone, French guy here, loving SGDQ so far and looking forward to see what's next. Also bonjour, Mr. MV. P.S. Save all the animals. $20 from Velenoth. Second donation of the marathon. Really enjoying the run so far. Good entertainment for a good cause. Money towards Reader's Choice, please. $20 from Sean Zero. Thanks to all of you for putting on a great show and keep up the great work. $20 from Minslow. TLV is the best game made by Blizzard, IMO. This game is my whole childhood, so I thought if I'm going to donate, this is the moment to do it. $40 from Ray the Only. Hey lovely people, watching since SGDQ 2012, and it got me into speedrunning. Probably the most awesome and friendly gaming community. Keep up this event even after the end of time. Not sure how you could do that. $100 from True Shade 12. Huzzah! $300 from Shadow's Temple. Money is for runner's choice. $24.30 from Doc Marm. Love watching Johan dismantle one of my favorite games. This goes towards Final Fantasy VI 100%. $20 from Dead Meat. Greetings from Finland. Can't say anything else other than playing for a great cause. SGDQ rocks. $20 from Bless You. Save the animals, kill the animals. There are more pressing issues like naming Yoshi Gerstmann. $50 from Shadow Killer 4826. Keep up the great work. So that was Lost Vikings with Johann Howitzer. Coming up next is Warcraft 3 with Studio. It's an hour and a half.